Welcome to another chapter of the Tao Te Ching. I am talking today about chapter 20, Stop Learning. This is a beautiful chapter. It especially today, I think, because our traditional education really is just kind of cranking out these kids who kind of know all the same stuff. And, I just kind of read a story yesterday all about China and how, they have like professional children because there there are only so many jobs to go around and everybody wants the same thing, right? So I was a kid when everybody wanted to, live on a beach somewhere, right? And I was like, well, we couldn't possibly have that much beach space that everyone gets to live on a beach. So why would everybody want the same thing? Now everyone's going to school to, get a job within a lucrative market, but that market isn't going to be lucrative for long once everybody graduates because everybody's going to be looking for the same job. So stop learning really sort of addresses that. It addresses this idea of stop learning what everybody else is learning. You are getting specific lessons. Now, start learning those. So stop learning reads, stop your learning. It has not been helpful. There is no difference between yes and no, nor between good and evil. Most people would never know that. They define the manifestations as others have, and foolishly give up themselves in favor of that. Everyone else wants to be excited. I prefer the darkness. I prefer to not care. Like a fool, I have no direction. Everyone else has abundance, while I seem to have lost it all. Without me, there is no within me, there is still no striving. It appears I am in chaos. Ordinary men look bright and intelligent, while I alone seem dull and confused, aimless, as if on the sea, drifting with nowhere to rest. I don't aspire to be like others. I am nourished by Tao. I am not aspired to be like others. And I do want to read this one section. Everyone else has abundance, while I seem to have lost it all. Within me, there is still no striving. It appears I am in chaos. It is like that's prose, right? Like that's telling a story. While I seem to have lost it all, and yet there is still no striving. I've lost everything, and I don't care to get it back. Like, I'm not trying to get back on that horse. Whatever. It's all fine. Here I am, doing what I do. The it's interesting also that when I read that article about China and the professional children or whatever, because their parents are helping them when they do chores and things, it's like, that's the same response everybody's having. All these kids know is do what others do. Maybe there was someone who was a professional child, put it on TikTok, and then all of a sudden everybody's going to do it because, oh, this is what I'm going to do. Is I can't have an idea for myself because I'm not attached to Tao. And I can't just now, them being professional children, that will probably yield into each individual figuring out what that means for themselves, and that will bring them closer to Tao. That is that's how I would sort of predict it, but who knows what's going to happen, right? Ordinary men look bright and intelligent, while I alone seem dull and confused. Why am I dull and confused? Because I'm not like everybody else. And what I'm doing can't be explained, and I can't tell you where I'm going to be in 20 years, and I can't tell you where I'm going to be in 5 years, and I can't tell you why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I can't do that because I really don't know. It's coming from inside me. Stop your learning. It hasn't been helpful. Like, it just starts here with look, all that you have learned in your traditional educated way has not helped you a lick. Sure, it's given you grades, But that is within the system that hasn't helped you otherwise. Sure, you can read. Sure, you can do all of these things. Like, I have never been a proponent of general literacy. I've always thought it was silly. We're going to teach you how to read, and you're going to go read the TV guide. You know, who cares? We can put the logo of your show on and tell you what time that's going to be or whatever. But general literacy is one of those things that everyone's like, you got to learn to read. You got to, and then you're going to be a part. And if we accepted everybody as who they were, and if we would work around the fact that people didn't read, but we've made this blanket statement that you have to read, and so now we only print things out and hand it to somebody expecting them to be able to read it. And that's not fair, because there's still people who can't read, and we don't have anything for them. So stop learning. It has not been helpful. There is no difference between yes and no, nor between good and evil. Most people would never know that. Most people think that there's a difference between right and wrong and good and bad and all of this stuff, but there isn't. And if you think there is, well, I'd like you to consider the fact that someone is telling you there isn't. Is there a possibility that you can see beyond your perceptions of right and wrong and figure out that those things were just choices that were made somewhere along the line, and those aren't actual things, right? Those aren't actual, like good and evil just because you're on the side of one. It's not, it has nothing to do with, it has to do with how history is told. It doesn't have to do with what's really true. They define the manifestation as others have, and foolishly give up themselves in favor of that. They define the manifestation. They define their experience as people before them have. And that's it. They have no say. They don't have any input as to how they're going to define the world. It is just how it was defined for them. Everyone else wants to be excited. I prefer the darkness. I prefer to not care. Like a fool, I have no direction. It seems like I'm a fool, and it seems like I have no direction. And I don't have any direction of where I'm going. However, Tao does, and I'm following that. Everyone else has abundance, while I seem to have lost it all. Within me, there is still no striving. It appears I am in chaos. Oh, he doesn't want to go to Harvard. Oh, he doesn't want to be a doctor. Oh, he's not studying IT. Oh, what's going to happen to him? Oh, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens to him. But that's what life is. We'll see. We'll see what this unfolds into. Ordinary men look bright and intelligent because they're all like, look, I'm like everybody else, and I'm really good at being like everybody else. Right? I'm really good at being like everybody else. While I alone seem dull and confused. Why am I dull and confused? Once again, because I'm not like everybody else, and you can't understand this. You can't understand why I don't want to go to Harvard. You can't understand why I don't want to, travel to see all the bullshit everyone else has seen in the world. Who cares? You can't understand why I don't want to fucking see another ad, and why that ad is going to stop me from watching your stupid fucking video. You can't understand that. Didn't you see this funny video? Do I got to watch an ad? No, I didn't see the video. I don't care about the ad. I can't get through the 4 seconds anymore. I'm not going to give up 4 seconds of my life so that I can watch some funny video that 1 million people have watched and I don't care about. I alone seem dull and confused. Oh, you don't understand. This is culture. Our culture is watching shitty videos that people make. Like even this. Like there's no ads on this because I don't care. Like I must be confused. I must have lost it all. I must be in the dark. Like, right? Because I'm not doing that. Aimless as if on a sea, drifting with nowhere to rest. I don't aspire to be like others. I am nourished by Tao. You see that? Like, I can be nourished by Tao. I don't have to be nourished by your attention. I don't have to be nourished by like the accolades that I receive because it's easy to understand what my life is because I have packaged it as a brand. I don't have to do that because I stopped learning. Thank you so much for joining me for another chapter of the Tao. And until next time, keep recovering yourself.